News just coming in from Pakistan. The Pakistan Navy has just issued another nav area warning, or it's a notification demarcating 2 zones for firing by Pakistan Navy ships in the Arabian Sea region. The Pakistan Navy now with the Indian Navy moving some distance away, no longer dominating either Karachi or Gwadar or Pasni or Ormara, the 5 major ports in Pakistan. The Pakistan Navy is now coming out and wants to carry out live firing drills, and 2 areas have been demarcated. I want to quickly bring in India Today's Sandeep Punithan for more on this. Sandeep, what do you make of the nav area warning for live firing by Pakistan Navy ships at this time?
Gaurav, you have to look at what the Pakistan Navy is faced with right now. They're looking at the southern flanks of Pakistan completely open and vulnerable. The Malir radar, which was knocked out by the Indian Air Force on the 10th of May, a very, very significant hit. That very prized radar, which has a surface scan radius of over 400 kilometers, Gaurav. It is powerful radar that could scan all of southern Pakistan, the North Arabian Sea, and all the Indian Air Force bases in Rajasthan and in Gujarat. That radar is knocked out, Gaurav. There is nothing that stands between the coast of Pakistan and the Indian Navy carrier battle group that's still out there prowling in the North Arabian Sea. Pakistan is acutely vulnerable at this position now because a full carrier battle group, Gaurav, with its fighter jets and escort screens, destroyers, frigates, missile boats, submarines carrying missiles, is a very, very potent messaging. Now, that would carry more missiles than Pakistan has warships. Now, there would be an overmatch. You're talking of, the carrier battle group carrying something like about 100 BrahMos long-range cruise missiles, which can hit targets not only on the sea, but also deep inland. So what Pakistan is doing with these exercises, these missile firing drills, is they're trying to create some kind of an ADIZ, an Air Defense Identification Zone, south of that, like a minefield, if you can call it that, south of Pakistan, to just keep the Indian warships away, just out of their exclusive economic zone, which is about 200 nautical miles south of Pakistan. They want to keep the Indian Navy away and compensate for the lack of sensory capabilities right now. So they must be in a bit of a quandary right now, scrambling all of their long-range maritime patrol aircraft, fighter jets and all that, because the Indian Navy has shown that it was ready for an escalation, possibly a phase 4 of Operation Sindoor. If it had not been called off on the 10th of May, we would probably have seen a 4th phase launched from the sea. And this is Pakistan trying desperately to prevent that from not being surprised again. This is a panic reaction, Gaurav. This is something that they've been
Panic reaction by Pakistan. That's very interesting you should say that, because when you talk about Pakistan's air defenses and if you talk about Pakistan's coast, look at that map. Pakistan's entire sea coast, and on that map our viewers can see we've marked some of the prominent ports. We've marked Gwadar, Ormara, Karachi. Of course, there's also Pasni port. There's also Jivani on the other side, just towards that tilt. So in all of this, each and every port of theirs is extremely vulnerable. We can not only repeat 1971, God forbid, should Pakistan escalate, but can do one or perhaps a couple of notches better.
Absolutely, Gaurav. And, memories of 1971 are still fresh, I'm sure, in the minds of the Pakistan Navy. It's the most comprehensive naval defeat inflicted on any side post the Second World War, where the entire Pakistan Navy, in the span of 30 minutes, they lost a destroyer, a minesweeper, and a merchant ship carrying ammunition. And of course, a few days later, these were ship-to-ship missile attacks, the largest in naval history at that point in 1971. There was a subsequent operation. After Operation Trident, you had Operation Python, where ships were again attacked. The port was targeted. Again, 4 missiles were launched in the direction of Karachi port. The entire Pakistan Navy was bottled up in port. They had defueled their ships, they had taken ammunition off, and they had withdrawn them. They were hiding behind merchant ships. That was the sorry state that they had been reduced to in 1971. And the Indian Navy actually, very, very big signaling here, Gaurav. The fact that they were hanging out outside the EEZ has planted a seed of doubt in the Pakistan military planners. Now, GHQ Rawalpindi is a long way off the coast, Gaurav.
Yes.
And they sometimes forget their vulnerabilities in the south. And this is exactly what the government, the defense ministry has played on by bringing the Indian Navy in a blocking move. This is that big center forward who's moved up there off the coast, not only blocking any possible outgo by the Pakistan Air Force, carrying out a sneak air attack out of southern Pakistan, but just bottling up all of its navy and its naval assets, telling them that we're here, we're ready to strike. Should you choose to escalate, go up that escalation ladder.
And that's the message that that state sponsor of radical Islamist terror must always know. India had permitted Pakistan to punch far above its weight. Whether it's diplomatically, whether it's using terror as an instrument of state policy, or whether the diplomats were trying to interfere in Kashmir. I mean, I just fail to understand how that diplomats could be coming into our country and paying the Hurriyat conference, and our leadership was okay with it, and a certain section of our intellectuals would be okay with it. How was this even possible? It actually took this kind of action against Pakistan to show that country its place. And that must continuously be done. When you have to battle terror and learn from other countries that have been battling terror, you have to constantly hit and hit. There is no give. There is no give on it. You have to continue hitting. That's the only way to deal with that radical Islamist mindset represented by Hafiz Saeed, by Masood Azhar, and by Asim Munir. The only difference between the three of them is one of them wears a uniform, the other two have the same mindset.